What if I told you that your body starts losing its strength long before you ever feel it, quietly, year after year? And what if I said that the secret to turning that decline around isn't some fancy gym routine or expensive supplement but a simple white powder that's probably sitting on a shelf near you right now? Stay with me, because this tiny nutrient could mean the difference between struggling to stand up and lifting your grandchild with ease. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Nana, and welcome to Senior Health Boost, where we help you move, think, and live stronger every single day. After the age of 30, your body begins losing around 3 to 8% of muscle every decade, and that number climbs even faster after 60. It's not just about appearance. This gradual loss of muscle is one of the biggest reasons older adults start to feel drained, stumble more often, and slowly lose the power to stay independent. But here's the surprising twist. One simple nutrient can actually reverse much of that decline. Research shows that adults over 50 who took this nutrient while doing light resistance training gained about 1.3 kilograms, 3 pounds of lean muscle compared to those who didn't. That's enough extra strength to stand up from a chair easily, climb stairs without grabbing the railing, and hug your grandchild without fear of falling. And the benefits? Don't stop there. Studies reveal that it can also sharpen focus, boost recovery after exercise, and restore steady energy levels throughout the day. It's not a miracle drug, it's one of the most well-studied yet misunderstood nutrients on the planet. Before we go deeper, drop a comment below. Tell me your age and one activity you wish still felt easy. I'll read and reply to as many as I can. In today's video, we're counting down from number 6 to number 1, ending with the most powerful, science-backed way to rebuild strength, sharpen your mind, and move like you did 20 years ago. But first, let's start with the part everyone cares about most: building real, usable strength after 50. Most people think it's too late to grow muscle, but that's not true at all. Your body still responds beautifully when given the right signal. It just needs the right fuel to go with it. And that fuel is creatine, the humble white powder sitting quietly on every gym shelf. It's not a stimulant. It's not a hormone. It's a natural compound that your body already makes in small amounts. By adding just a small scoop each day, you recharge your muscles, helping them contract harder, recover faster, and grow stronger over time. In simple terms, your muscles run on quick energy called ATP. Every time you move, lift, or even stand up, that energy runs out in seconds. Creatine acts like a tiny backup battery, donating power right when your cells run low. It's the difference between one shaky push and 3 confident ones. I once had a patient named George, 72 years old, who could barely stand from his recliner without help. We began gentle resistance training and added 5 grams of creatine daily. Within 8 weeks, his leg strength improved by nearly 30%. He smiled and said, "Doc, I can lift my grandkid again and I don't even feel tired afterward." That kind of change isn't about bulking up. It's about getting your life back. Imagine walking upstairs without stopping halfway, opening a jar without struggling, or carrying your groceries without that ache in your back. Every one of those small victories comes from rebuilding the muscle that time quietly takes away. And here's what most people overlook: the emotional strength that returns with it. When you start moving with power again, your posture improves, your breathing deepens, and your confidence grows. You're not just lifting weights, you're lifting your sense of control. It's like waking up one morning and realizing your body still listens when you ask it to move. Research shows that adults who combine creatine with simple resistance training gain about 1.3 kilograms of lean muscle and improve both chest and leg strength by 20–30%. That's not vanity, that's independence, confidence, and the freedom to live life on your own terms. Start simple. Take 3 to 5 grams of creatine daily with water or a small snack. Stay consistent, move your body every day, and remember, the magic isn't in doing more, it's in doing it steadily. And this is just the beginning, because next, you'll see how this same nutrient helps your body recover faster, refill its energy reserves, and keep you feeling alive and ready every single day. Before we move forward, let's quickly remind ourselves of what we just learned. In page 1, we discovered how creatine, that simple white powder most people overlook, can reignite your strength, rebuild lost muscle, and restore confidence after 50. But strength is just one part of the story. Because what happens after you exercise, your recovery can make or break your progress. And that's exactly where we pick up today. I'm Dr. Nana, and you're watching Senior Health Boost. Let's talk about recovery, energy, and the surprising ways creatine can even power up your brain. When you exercise, your muscles burn through their stored fuel called glycogen. It's what powers your every move from walking across the room to lifting a grocery bag. But after a good workout, those energy stores get depleted, leaving your muscles tired, stiff, and sore. Normally, it can take your body an entire day, sometimes longer, to fully refill those glycogen tanks. But here's where creatine quietly changes everything. When you add creatine into your routine, your muscles pull glycogen back in up to 80% faster within the first 24 hours. That means less soreness, less stiffness, and far more readiness for the next day's activity. Think of it like refueling a car. Without creatine, it's like pumping gas with a slow, sputtering nozzle drip by drip. With creatine, it's like using a high-speed pump that fills your tank in seconds, getting you ready to drive again by morning. The process itself sounds simple, and it is, but the effect is powerful. Creatine helps transport energy into your cells through a sodium-dependent carrier, a tiny but crucial mechanism that acts like an energy delivery system. That's why I often tell my patients, take your creatine with a pinch of salt or a small piece of fruit. Why? Because sodium and natural sugars help push creatine into your cells faster, making it more efficient and effective. It's a small trick, but one that makes a big difference in how much your body actually absorbs. One of my favorite stories is about Dana, a 65-year-old retired teacher who loved her morning walks. She started walking again to rebuild her health, but often felt completely wiped out afterward. She told me, "Dr. Nana, I love walking, but after a few days, I feel like I've run a marathon. My legs ache, and I can barely move." We decided to add 5 grams of creatine each morning along with a light breakfast. 2 weeks later, she called and said, "I still feel the effort, but not the crash. I can walk again tomorrow, and I actually look forward to it." Over the next month, Dana doubled her walking distance without feeling like she was running on empty. That's the magic of improved recovery. It doesn't just help you exercise better, it helps you enjoy it again. And she's not alone. Studies show that older adults who use creatine along with light exercise recover muscle power and endurance up to 25% faster in just a few weeks. That extra energy doesn't just mean more reps in the gym, it means more energy for your hobbies, your grandkids, your garden, and your everyday life. Here's how to get started. Take 3 to 5 grams of creatine daily, ideally after movement or with a small meal. And remember, hydration matters. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Water helps your muscles work smoothly and keeps that creatine transport process running at full speed. I know what some of you might be thinking, but Dr. Nana, I'm already tired. I don't have the energy to exercise. That's exactly where things start to change. When your recovery improves, movement stops feeling like punishment. Your body starts craving motion again. Walking, stretching, lifting light weights, they all become enjoyable, not exhausting. And when you move more, something incredible happens. Your metabolism wakes up. That renewed energy creates a positive feedback loop. Move a little, recover faster, move again, and each time you feel a bit stronger. And just when you think creatine's role ends with muscles, there's another twist. What if I told you that this very same nutrient, the one that helps you lift and move, also fuels your brain? Most people think creatine is just for athletes, bodybuilders, or young people chasing muscle mass. But here's what surprises many of my patients. Creatine powers your brain cells the same way it powers your muscles. Your brain burns through an enormous amount of energy every single day. Even when you're sitting still, it's consuming around 20% of your body's total energy. So, when those energy levels dip, you feel it. It shows up as brain fog, forgetfulness, slower reaction time, or that frustrating sense that your thoughts are just a little fuzzy. Creatine helps your brain cells recycle and store energy faster, like recharging your mental batteries between every thought. It's as if your mind suddenly runs on a clean, steady current instead of a flickering light bulb. That means sharper focus, quicker thinking, and stronger short-term memory. In plain English, it's like adding a portable power bank to your brain, so your thoughts don't fade halfway through the day. For older adults, this isn't just about comfort, it's about independence. One review found that people who took creatine improved their short-term memory, attention span, and mental processing speed by nearly 30%. You may not notice it right away, but after a few weeks, mornings feel clearer, names come easier, and conversations flow naturally again. I remember one of my patients, Linda, 68 years old, who came to see me, worried about her memory. She said, "Dr. Nana, I forgot my neighbor's name halfway through a sentence yesterday. It scared me. Is this the start of something serious? We started her on a simple plan: 3 grams of creatine daily, paired with her morning tea. After about 3 weeks, she came back beaming. Doc, I made my grocery list in my head and remembered every item. No notes, no reminders. 3 months later, she had taken up painting again. She told me her ideas flowed faster, her creativity returned, and even colors seemed brighter. It wasn't a miracle, it was energy returning to her brain. Here's what's happening on a cellular level. Creatine supports your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every brain cell. When those mitochondria are fully fueled, your neurons fire efficiently, sending signals that help you think clearly, remember faster, and stay alert without feeling jittery. Unlike caffeine, which spikes your energy and drops it suddenly, creatine gives your brain a steady, calm clarity that lasts all day. It's not a buzz, it's balance. In one clinical study, older adults who used creatine scored higher on memory, reasoning, and verbal recall tests compared to those who didn't. And when asked how they felt, they didn't describe it as stimulation, they described it as mental brightness. That feeling of being truly awake and fully present again. Think about that for a moment. What would it feel like to go through your day with that kind of mental sharpness, remembering every detail, staying focused, and never losing your train of thought mid-sentence? If you'd love that kind of clarity, type 1 in the comments. If you're still unsure, type 0. I read every single one, and your feedback helps guide what we talk about next here on Senior Health Boost. Now, before we wrap up this part, there's something fascinating I want you to know. Did you realize that women may actually respond even better to creatine than men? It's true, and the reasons behind it are deeply tied to the way women's bodies manage energy, hormones, and muscle tissue as they age. Most people have never heard this before, but once you understand it, it completely changes the way you think about staying strong after 50. So, in the next part, we'll explore why women often experience even greater results from creatine and what that means for your daily strength, balance, and energy. As we just learned, creatine isn't just for athletes, it's a lifeline for restoring everyday strength, energy, and clarity. But here's something most people overlook. Women, especially after menopause, may benefit from creatine even more than men. After menopause, a woman's body produces much less estrogen, and that quiet hormonal shift touches nearly everything. It affects muscle tone, recovery, bone strength, and even mental energy. But there's another piece few people realize. Women also produce 20 to 30% less creatine naturally. That means their muscles and brains start each day with smaller energy reserves. Every movement, walking upstairs, lifting groceries, or even getting out of bed can feel just a little harder than it should. It's not weakness, it's biology. Adding a small daily dose of creatine helps close that gap. It becomes a gentle but powerful support system for muscle strength, mental clarity, and bone health, 3 pillars of graceful, confident aging. When estrogen drops, muscles lose water and firmness. They can start to feel soft or unsteady. But creatine helps pull water back into those muscle cells, keeping them hydrated, flexible, and responsive. That's why so many women describe feeling solid again, steadier, stronger, more grounded in their movements. I'll never forget one of my patients, Karen, a 61-year-old retired teacher. She told me she felt nervous walking down her porch steps because her legs sometimes didn't listen. We started her on gentle resistance training and 3 grams of creatine daily. 2 months later, she smiled and said, "Dr. Nana, I can climb the stairs without grabbing the railing anymore." For Karen, it wasn't about looking different, it was about feeling capable again, trusting that her legs would respond when she needed them to. And science fully supports her story. Multiple studies show that women who combine creatine with light exercise not only gain more lean muscle, but also maintain stronger bone density compared to those who don't. Here's how it works. When your muscles grow stronger, they gently tug on the bones, signaling them to rebuild, a natural biological process that slows with age unless we reawaken it through movement. The result isn't dramatic overnight. It's quiet, steady progress that builds week by week. One day, you realize you're no longer afraid of losing balance. You're not hesitating before climbing stairs or walking across uneven ground. You're living freely again. Even mood and energy can shift. Many women report feeling more emotionally balanced and mentally focused after adding creatine. It's a reminder that when your body moves well, your mind follows. To keep things simple, Start with 3 to 5 grams a day. Mix it with water, juice, or even a small snack, and drink plenty of fluids. Consistency is key. Your body loves routine. Now, let's tackle the big questions. I always hear the ones that make people hesitate before trying creatine. Every time I talk about this nutrient, two concerns always rise to the top: kidneys and hair loss. People hear those words and immediately stop listening. But let's clear this up once and for all. First, the kidneys. This myth has been around for decades. It started because creatine can slightly raise a lab value called creatinine, a waste marker that doctors often associate with kidney function. But here's the truth. That rise doesn't mean kidney damage. It simply reflects that your body is processing more energy, not that it's under stress. Dozens of long-term studies, many lasting years, have shown that healthy adults taking 3 to 5 grams daily experience no signs of kidney strain, even after extended use. For older adults with normal kidney function, creatine remains one of the safest and most thoroughly tested nutrients in the world. In fact, some research suggests that when used correctly, creatine may even support kidney health indirectly by improving muscle strength, blood flow, and metabolic balance. Stronger muscles help regulate blood sugar and pressure, easing the workload on your organs. Think of it like this: the stronger your body becomes, the less strain your organs face doing everyday tasks. Now, about hair. Years ago, a small study on rugby players reported a temporary rise in a hormone called DHT, which is linked to male pattern baldness. That single study turned into a rumor that creatine causes hair loss, but it simply isn't true. Follow-up research that actually measured hair follicles found no change in hair density at all. In plain language, creatine doesn't make your hair fall out. Hair loss is influenced by genetics, hormones, stress, and age, not this nutrient. So, if you've been hesitant, start small. Take 3 grams daily, stay hydrated, and notice how your body feels over the next few weeks. I've worked with hundreds of patients, both men and women, using creatine for recovery and strength. Not a single one developed kidney issues, but nearly all of them reported better balance, stronger posture, and improved stamina. One of my favorite success stories comes from George, the same 72-year-old gentleman I mentioned earlier. When we first met, he told me, "Dr. Nana, I think I'll have to give up the gym soon." But 6 months later, not only was George still training, his lab results were perfect. His confidence was back. His smile said everything. And that's one of the most beautiful effects of rebuilding strength: confidence. It's the best side effect you could ever hope for. Creatine isn't magic. It's not a quick fix or a miracle powder. It's a tool, one backed by decades of solid, peer-reviewed science. When used daily and consistently, it supports your muscles, your brain, and your mobility, helping you stay active, clear-minded, and independent well into your later years. It's not about chasing youth. It's about protecting vitality. So, if you've ever felt uncertain or afraid of taking creatine because of myths or misinformation, let this be your reassurance. Used properly, it's safe, proven, and profoundly effective. In the next part, we'll break down the best way to start, the timing, the right type of creatine to choose, and how to make it work seamlessly with your daily routine. Because once you understand how simple it is to use, you'll realize that regaining your strength and clarity doesn't require a drastic change, just one small scoop a day. Now that you understand how creatine works, how it rebuilds strength, restores balance, and even sharpens your mind, let's close with something simple, something that ties it all together: how to take it safely and effectively every single day. Because the truth is, the science doesn't matter if you can't apply it. And the best part, it's incredibly simple. No complicated dosing schedules, no expensive supplements, no secret formula, just consistency. Small, steady steps that build lifelong strength. For most adults over 50, the sweet spot is 3 to 5 grams a day. That's about 1 small, level teaspoon. Take it once a day with water, juice, or any drink you enjoy. It doesn't have to be at a specific time, but taking it around the same time every day helps you turn it into a habit. Think of it like brushing your teeth. It's not about the one time you do it perfectly. It's about doing it regularly enough that your body begins to depend on that rhythm. That daily rhythm is what keeps your system strong, your muscles primed, and your energy steady. Some people ask me, "Dr. Nana, do I need to do a loading phase like bodybuilders do?" Here's my answer: you can, but you don't have to. If you want faster results, You can try what's called a loading phase 20 grams per day for about 5 to 7 days, divided into 4 smaller servings. After that, simply drop back down to 3 to 5 grams per day for maintenance. But honestly, for most adults, slow and steady works just as well. You don't need to rush the process. Your body will adapt beautifully over time. Here's a small but powerful tip. Take your creatine with a small amount of carbohydrates or a pinch of salt. Why? Because the transporter that moves creatine into your muscle cells depends on sodium. That means a little fruit, a slice of toast, or even a light electrolyte drink can help your body absorb it more effectively. And let's not forget, water is your best friend in this process. Creatine helps your muscles draw in and hold fluid. That's part of how they stay full, firm, and powerful. When you're well hydrated, your muscles recover faster, your joints feel smoother, and your entire body functions more efficiently. So, keep that glass of water close by. Hydration isn't just a side note, it's the foundation of how creatine supports your system. In one large review, researchers found that people who stayed consistent, just one small scoop a day, gained around 1.3 kilograms, nearly 3 pounds of lean muscle, and improved both upper and lower body strength by 20 to 30% within a few months. That's not just a number, that's a life-changing difference in how you move, stand, and feel. It's the difference between getting up from a chair easily or struggling to rise, between walking confidently across a room or hesitating at every step, between feeling drained by daily chores and actually enjoying your independence again. If you've ever started a supplement and given up because it felt too complicated, think of this as the easiest step you'll ever add to your day. One scoop, one glass, one small act of care for your body. And yet, that one small act can ripple outward in ways you can't imagine. I've seen men and women in their 60s, 70 seconds, even 80 seconds start here quietly, consistently, and completely change how they age. Their posture improves. Their energy returns. They walk taller, steadier, more confidently than they have in years. They rediscover what it feels like to trust their body again. Now that you know exactly how to use it, let's remind ourselves why this truly matters. Staying strong after 50 isn't about chasing youth, it's about preserving your freedom. It's about being able to do the things you love without hesitation, to garden, to travel, to play with your grandchildren, to carry your own groceries, to live on your own terms. A few grams of creatine each day won't turn you into a bodybuilder, and it's not supposed to. But it can help you stand taller, think clearer, and move with confidence again. You don't have to change your life overnight. You just have to start. Start small. Start today. One scoop, one walk, one promise to yourself that your health, your strength, and your independence are worth protecting. Because every rep, every step, and every sip of that glass of water is your body saying, I'm still here. And I'm not done yet. I've seen that spark return in countless people the moment they realize that getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. It means getting wiser about how we care for our bodies. And the secret isn't intensity, it's consistency. It's the gentle, daily commitment to move, to nourish, and to stay curious about what your body can still do. So here's my message to you. Don't wait for someday. Start now. Start small. And stay consistent. I'm Dr. Nana, and this is Senior Health Boost, your trusted place for real, science-backed advice on staying strong, sharp, and full of life after 50. If today's video inspired you, give it a like. It helps more people discover these life-changing tips. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health Boost for weekly videos that keep your body strong, your mind clear, and your spirit young. Because your best years aren't behind you, they're just beginning. Stay steady, stay curious, and keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next video.